Virtual tours. Creating a virtual tour of your school. Getting started. So, the first thing you're going to need is a way to take 360-degree photos. Now, many mobile phone cameras already have this option. So, have a look through your photo functions to see if that is an available one to you. When you look at your functions, it may be called something different. On my phone, it is a photosphere. Now, a lot of the Android cameras seem to have this option, but we've been looking online to see that not as many Apple devices have this. So, there are also a variety of apps via tablets and phones that will allow you to take a 360-degree photo. What we're really saying here is you don't need to go out and purchase something separate. While there are 360-degree photo devices out there, hopefully you will have one to your hand already. Now, one of the ones that we have found as a staff, Mrs. Campbell has been using, is Google Street View app. And again, we're not going to go into that right now, but that is an app that will allow you to take a 360-degree photo. Now, when you do that, it is just simply a series of photos, whether that is via the app, Google Street View, your own app, or one of your devices. And what we would say is be very careful when you are taking the photos, because if you miss out anything, you will see black marks where there is a gap in that photo. Remember, it is a full 360-degree revolving photo, so you want to try and follow the instructions in that app or camera option. And it will guide you as it does in mine. I simply follow the circle and take a photo with that guidance. Now, if you have a person in that photo, it may distort it, because if the person moves, then it makes it quite difficult to have that full 360-degree option, and you may see that when you are playing around with it on your device. So the next step is to find a virtual tour app. Now, I've had a look over the last few weeks at quite a few of them, and while many of them are free, they do come with adverts incorporated into the tour. So in this video guide, I am going to be looking at the Google Tour Creator. It's also available for free and has much more options in it than the ones I have discovered. You may be using a different one, and it would be fantastic if you could share your successes with us so that we can see the different varieties that are out there. If you Google Tour Creator, then this should pop up. This is the link here, and that's where we're going to go to now. This main page here will open up when you open it. And as you can see, it gives you a virtual idea of what's going on out there. So you can see points of interest, you can use 360-degree photos, and there actually are already some examples. So it gives you an idea of what you're creating. Now, I'm not going to go through these examples, but it is quite an educational opportunity for your children, even if you're doing lessons, because there are things like the 7 wonders of the world on there, as well as real estate and other schools and colleges. But it gives you an idea of what that looks like and what you can do with it. It's also available on lots of devices, and they're also recommending the Google Cardboard Viewer. Now, this is something to make it feel as if you are using VR goggles. And as you can see, it splits it into the two screens there, and it's something that many people may already have, but it's also quite a simple device to create for free if you wish to do so, and there are guides out there to help you. We're just going to get started onto our virtual tour just now. Now, once this opens, you'll see that there's templates. We're not going to look at those. You might wish to explore those, and you can, but for our needs, I would say a new tour is the easiest option. Now, this first part is just to select a cover photo. This isn't a 360-degree image. I'm just going to put in a Moorfoot photo that I had in my folders. This is one of the school building. Now, it doesn't need to be of a 360-degree photo, as I said. It can just be to cover what you are showing. So if you are just simply showing one part of your school, then that cover photo should match your tour. Now, I'm just going to call this testing, because the images I've got are just ones I've just simply taken in my garden just a few moments ago, just to show you how simple this would be. And when we create our Moorfoot tour, we want that to be something that has all the photos of every single part of our building and our gardens. So as you can imagine, we want to make sure that there's nobody in the building at that time. So we're really wanting to take our time over that. So that's why I'm just going to use some images from my own garden today so that you can see how simple it is to create, and it's not going to be a laborious task. Whereas quite often, depending on what you're going to look at, if you're looking at the full school, that is going to take quite a few photos. Okay, so description, I'm just going to put testing in here as well. Now category, we're just going to click on. I'm not going to add a category, but you can if you wish to. You can see that there are places and scenes. We don't need to do that, so I'm just going to simply click create. Now, that's going to take you straight away into two options. Either to add images from Street View, which are already been uploaded by Google, or to upload your own. So I'm going to show you both just now. Street View, unfortunately, Muirfoot Primary has an old image in Street View, so we're just going to use that just now so that it gives you an idea. You can see it's the old building before the refurbishment, but we're going to use that just now just so that we've got a scene. So we simply click add scene, and then we're going to do some editing. I'm just going to call that welcome to Muirfoot. And then I'm going to add in description outside the building. Now you can see here there's some options to have some audio. So I'm going to add in some audio just now. Now all we have to do here is select an audio file. Now you may upload something from your phone. You could have an Apple device or an Android device, or Microsoft, might be a tablet, where you are able to record something. Again, there's more apps out there. I'm not going to linger too long on that, but that is simply where you would add an audio file. And it's the same as opening in anything else. You would just select an audio file, and that would open up your folders. Okay. We also have the option here to add an ambient audio. So an ambient audio is like a background noise. If you had, for example, the noise of children playing in the garden or the noise of children learning, you might want to add that. Okay, so that's something that you might wish to consider so that it gives that feeling, but it could just be a narration of what they are saying. Okay, so we're going to leave that just now. That's those audio options. And then we're going to go back to adding scene. So each time you add a scene, it's a different 360-degree photo. So for example, you might have at the beginning the car park, the outside of the building, so that anybody who is coming to your school will know what that looks like. Now the next scene you might have is your reception area, you might have your school hall, and you're building up a slow picture. At the moment, I'm just going to upload a couple of example 360-degree photos. Now these ones are my garden. It was just simple ones to use so that you get the idea of what we are creating here. But you would possibly be using ones of specific areas of your school or your nursery. And once that's uploaded, we're going to add that scene. Now I'm just going to call that my house. That's the front of my house. And again, I can add some narration, I can add some ambient audio, and I can also get some description. Here I can set the starting view. So I think I'm going to get the starting view of my car and my child space hopper. But again, if you've got the full tour, you might choose your starting view as the front door. So it's almost as if they are walking through into that reception area. Then I'm going to add scene again. So we're just building up that picture. I'm not going to show you a full tour of my house, so you don't need to worry. I'm going to just add in another 360-degree photo here. This is of my back garden. So you get to see all of my children's toys. And it may take a couple of seconds, but eventually once it's uploaded, you'll see that image on the screen. Okay, so we're going to add that scene. Again, we can just add some details. I'm not going to do that just now. I can change my starting view so that it could be from my house walking down through the garden. I'm just going to press save at that point. And then I think I'm quite happy with this. I don't want to go on and linger too long on those aspects because it's just the same repetitive action that you're doing. It really is about those photos. As many photos as you've got, the greater your tour is going to be. So we're going to go to publish, and at this point you have a couple of options. If you choose public, then anyone can find it. If you choose unlisted, it means that nobody can search for it, but don't worry, because when we get to this part, I'm going to press publish. In a moment, you'll see that there are some options to share it. So this part here is your link. When you copy that, you can copy it to your website. You can share it out on Twitter. That is your option of where you're going to put that. It's just a simple link that people will click on. I am going to press View Tour so that you can get an idea of what your viewer will look like to them. So we're just going to open that up just now. And when you share this link, this is what they're going to see. Now, you can see the title there. It moves around slowly automatically, but also this little hand means that I can move all the way around. I've seen enough of our car park, so I'm going to press Scene 2. And again, that's going to give me that full image of my house and my garden. And then Scene 3. And I can look up to the sky. Oh, look, there we've got a black mark. That's what we were mentioning before. That black mark means it's a photo that's missing. Okay, so that gives you an idea. And then again, I can share at this point. And there are some options there to embed it, but also to share on Twitter or just copy the straight address. Okay, I hope that's been of some help to you today. Thank you.